All right, this past weekend I visited the Southern California Retro Gaming Expo. You can see on their website they're already advertising for April 1st and 2nd of 2023. I visited the expo on the Sunday. I couldn't make it to the Saturday event, which I heard was extremely busy. These are the panelists that were there. I didn't get to see any of these. Well, I saw Pat and Ian because they had a little booth within the convention center. It's always nice that these events have all these panelists come, and it helps attract people to the event. This was sort of the overflow parking. If you got there early, you could avoid paying a $10 fee to park. Otherwise, you had to take a long walk just to get up to the convention center. Again, it was $25 to enter the expo just for the privilege of being able to buy stuff from all of the many, many booths they had inside. And this was the overview, sort of, once you got in, looking around the whole place, you could see how many people were there, and even considering this was light traffic for the day. And this booth here, they weren't selling anything. So even though they have all these booths, there's some of them that aren't even having anything for sale. Instead, they were just showing off some stuff and some things that were on limited run games that you can purchase, but you couldn't purchase while you were here at the expo. And the event had a lot of interesting things that you could buy, and most of the stuff that you see here is for sale, and a lot of the items were very interesting. This was the Intellivision Amico, and it was funny because it says it was sold out, and I thought that was hilarious, but it turns out there were actually people there, and there was a booth there on Saturday, and they sold out of everything, and that was what I found out. And there was this little area where you can kind of enter contests in the back, and the kids could play video games and compete against each other. These conventions, they always have really interesting artwork, and a lot of times it's for sale. And this stuff here that's all framed and everything was in the front of the convention, but none of this artwork here was for sale. If this was all just for show. They were considered like museum pieces. And then this year they had a lot of pieces that were really interesting, like this Donkey Kong 64 for $1,900. A lot of things in here were very expensive. It seemed like a lot of the items they've raised the prices on. Don't get me wrong, you can still find good deals at these events, but you have to kind of look around. They have these Xbox little refrigerator things. They have this Mario cereal, which I had never really seen before. And then, speaking of stuff that's expensive, they have these PlayStation neon signs and Xbox neon signs, which $5,000 for these things, and on up, $10,000 for the Nintendo 64. And I just thought those kind of prices are outrageous. I would entertain $300-$400 maybe for a neon sign. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand. And then they have these Marvel shoes, which I had never really seen. You see those 5200 cartridges also. So there are some older style stuff. They have the little place in the back where you could eat. And then over here with these lenticular artworks, I thought was very interesting. And I ended up picking up the Spider-Man one for $30 for a birthday present for my niece. And there's all kinds of interesting people. Every time you come to the conventions, you have different people that are wearing different costumes, and they have the little cosplay. And then there's Pat and Ian, and they had their little booth, and they seem like they're there every year selling things. And again, different people dressed up, and they had some people interviewing, I guess, for their YouTube channels and things. And they also sell apparel here. I saw some Pac-Man shirts and different things like that if you're into the retro gaming apparel. And they have a lot of PlayStation items there too. Not so much Atari or Commodore or Intellivision, although I did entertain an offer for an Intellivision Sears video arcade. They wanted $125, and I talked them down to $75, and then I said I'll think about it, and I ended up not purchasing it. And this was as you walk out of the building, just to give a kind of view of the convention center. And then this was some of the swag that my brother purchased for $5 and for $10 items. So you can find things that were inexpensive there. And you can get good deals. And this was the ticket and lanyard that you got for your $25 fee. And they also gave out these little bags to help you hold all the swag and all the stuff that you purchased while you were there. Which I think if you're going to go to a convention like this or an expo, you need a bag to hold all the stuff you're purchasing. Otherwise, you end up just, your hands are full. And I ended up picking up this Intellivision Royal Dealer copy. I thought it was a clean copy for $5, and I thought that was a good deal. And then while I was there, I also picked up this Sega CD holder for $10 and Sega Dreamcast. And I thought that was a pretty good deal. And then I also picked up this Sega Genesis controller, 6-button arcade pad for $15. They also had, this was a wired one, but they also had the wireless ones for $25, which I don't think is a bad deal considering some of the Retrobit controllers are as high as $50. And then finally, I mentioned I picked up my little Spider-Man lenticular artwork thing. And anyway, I had a great time at the expo this year. It was fun. I didn't attend any of the panels, but I thought it was pretty interesting. And anyway, thanks for watching.